Ahead of Tuesday's special runoff in Georgia to replace Marjorie Taylor Greene, the former Congresswoman had some choice words for President Trump's allies amid his escalating rhetoric toward Iran. Greene wrote on X this morning, quote, "Stop worshiping the president and intervene in Trump's madness. I know all of you and him, and he has gone insane, and all of you are complicit." Greene resigned from her seat in January following a public split with Trump. On Tuesday, Trump endorsed Republican Clayton Fuller, a former lieutenant colonel in the Air National Guard, who is facing off against Democrat Sean Harris. And retired Army Brigadier General Sean Harris joins us now. So, General, you're running in a very deep red district. Cook Political Report even called it the most GOP district in all of Georgia. And last time you ran against Greene, she won by nearly 30 points. And Trump won, too, 37 over Kamala Harris. So you really got an uphill battle here. What has been your message to the district as to why you should occupy the seat?
Yeah, first, let me just say happy Easter to everybody. You know, the reality of you're exactly right. I ran against Marjorie Taylor Greene last time. We came in second. There's no second place trophies. But a lot has changed since then. As you just said, Marjorie Taylor Greene and Donald Trump has had a major divorce, and that divorce is still going on as we speak. The person that I'm running against right now is weak because he sold his soul to Donald Trump, and he can't say anything about this war of choice that we're in. He can't say anything about the cost of living. He can't push back on anything. And everybody here in Northwest Georgia, Democrats, Independents, and yes, Republicans, are coalescing behind me. And come Tuesday, you're going to see we're going to flip this seat.
How much of General Harris? How much is the war in Iran impacting what your constituents are telling you down there in that district?
Yeah, you know, the reality is they talk about two things and they talk about it in two different ways. One, you know, in the rural community, many of our kids and grandkids go into the military to get a leg up. So there's many of the people in my district actually have kids that are in the military. Some are actually part of that 50,000 that's over there in the Middle East. So they're concerned that way. But what's really affecting us is actually when it comes to the everyday costs. My district, the number one industry is agriculture. I'm a cattle farmer, and it's affecting us when it comes to the price of diesel, but also when it comes to the price of fertilizer. It's killing us right now. And so that's what's the biggest issue right now is they're saying, Mr. Harris or Sean or General, whatever they want to call me, they say, look, go to D.C., please address these things and bring down costs, get the farm bill passed, bring some health care here. These are the issues that are affecting us here in the district.
Could you elaborate a little bit more on how you plan to bring down costs for people in your district?
Yeah, when I get to D.C., I'm going to actually stand up because right now I believe Democrats and Republicans both in D.C. are basically just playing to the cameras. When I get there, I want to be the person that says, stop. Let's get in the room. Let's get to the real issues. Find yes so that we can actually bring down costs. But bringing down costs is telling the president of the United States that a tariff is a tax and is killing rural America. He can saying that he loves the farmers. I'm going to get to D.C. and push him on it, push Congress on it to get the farm bill passed so that we can actually take care of all our farmers here in the district.
General, I'm curious if you think to any extent Marjorie Taylor Greene still speaks for many of the people who are, of course, living in the district, but may vote for you. And I ask because, she has continued to speak very openly about the way that she feels about policy, about this president right now. She had a response for his very interesting Truth Social post this morning and called him out for not being a Christian. She has been against this war. And I'm curious if, in a way, I know that the two of you, of course, ran against each other at one point. You were opponents. I'm sure you maybe don't feel like you guys are friends. But if there is a way in which, strangely, your messages and your conversations with community members have converged.
Yeah, the reality of it is I ran against Marjorie Taylor Greene, but I'm also, if you think about it, there's a new Marjorie Taylor Greene out there. I call it Marjorie Taylor Greene 2.0. Marjorie Taylor Greene 2.0 sounds very similar to me. She talks about health care costs. She talks about the cost of living being too high. She talks about the Epstein files need to be released. She talks about this war clearly is a war of choice. The reality of it is Sean Harris' message has not changed. Marjorie Taylor Greene's message has came back to my moderate Democratic side. And when Marjorie Taylor Greene and I are speaking to the community, it is people in our community, not all, but it is people in our community that's saying, you know what? I'm going to give Sean Harris a chance because when he wins this election on the 7th, he is only in D.C. from now to November. And what I've told everybody in this district, if I don't actually bring home results in that little bit of time, then you can fire me in November. But if I do, then you can continue to keep voting for change. And I've also told them that when I get to D.C., I don't plan to stay in D.C. the rest of my life. I've already retired one time from the service. I only want to stay up there for term limits that I'll just be 6 years, and then we'll get somebody else up there to replace me.
General, what is your closing argument to Trump voters who support him and they still like him, but they do not like the war in Iran and they don't like the rise in their prices that it's caused them?
Yeah, my closing argument is very simple as this. Do you know, the people in our district know me personally? More than 7,000 people in this district got my direct phone number because I actually going to work for the hardworking people here in the district, period. Nobody else. I'm a Democrat, but I'm not tied to the party. My opponent can't say anything like that. What I say to everybody in the district is this, specifically the Republicans. When you vote for me, that does not make you a Democrat. That simply means that you're, for once, taking time out, thinking about yourself, thinking about your kids, and thinking about your grandkids. And only thing I'm saying to you is this time, on April 7th, go in there and vote your conscience. Go in there and vote what's best for you and your family, because you know in your heart of hearts that all of these policies that Trump is actually putting out there are not working for us. And then the last thing I say to him is this. If Donald Trump is doing something right, like he did on shutting down the border, I'm going to support it. But if he's not, I'm going to push back hard because I only work for one person, and that is the people here in Northwest Georgia. So that is my closing argument. We're excited about Tuesday. We're going to shock the world, and we're going to flip this seat down here in Northwest Georgia and take care of everybody in the district.
Sean Harris, thanks for your time tonight. Good luck on Tuesday.
Thank you very much.